Mike Sill with New Bedford Guide. We here talking to the candidates still tonight. We have Charlie Perry, who's running for mayor. So, Charlie, why should people vote for you for mayor of New Bedford?
Hello, New Bedford. My name's Charlie Perry. I'm running for mayor for the city of New Bedford. City I love, city that I chose to be here with my family and friends. And my experiences, I'm a 30-year veteran of the New Bedford Police Department. I've been problem solving for 30 years. Every issue that comes to my plate, I solve one way or another. And that's what I'm going to do at City Hall. Over the years, over the past few months, since May, I've talked to many of the residents in the city. And they were frustrated with the city taxes going up over the past 3 years, and they wanted to stop. I'm going to assist the city residents and try to straighten that out. Also, public safety. There's a huge outcry for public safety. We want our city streets to be safer. Crime is up. Crime has been no different from this year to the past 5 years. I'm going to try to give you a solution. One of the solutions is implementing the community police unit in its fullest capacity that the city allows and the city budget allows. Also is the school department. The students in the schools definitely declining, and we got to straighten that out by reviewing the leadership and looking into how things are processed in the school department. We had resignations, terminations with teachers and staff throughout the years, totaling about 725. That's huge. That's a huge number. What we need to do is go in there and try to fix that. I will fix that. And let's see. I love the city so much. I really do. And I want to focus on the city from the south end to the north end. I know we've been focusing in the past few years with the downtown area, and it looks wonderful. The Hurricane Walk, I love that. That's beautiful. I love to walk that. Check out the ocean view. It's perfect. Serenity, definitely. We have to add to that. There's parts of the city that need to be addressed. We also, over the past month, we talked about the golf course. The golf course being renovated into a second industrial park. That's a problem. It's a problem in itself. We have an industrial park along Braley Road. That's our first one. It's not filled to its capacity. There's open lands, there's empty buildings. We can work on that. If you look at it, Industrial Park, number 1, along Braley Road, has the same access roads as Hathaway Boulevard and the golf course. The only difference is on Hathaway Road, there's two overpasses, which are going to cause the traffic to bottleneck. If you go down towards, the exit to 140 North, there's an overpass near Yesteryear. If you go up to the top of the hill, there's another overpass. Both areas can only have 2 lanes. The only way you're going to make traffic flow a whole lot easier is if you get rid of those overpasses, and that's not going to happen. Okay, so renovating the golf course into a second industrial park is not something I'm for, and I just want the city residents of New Bedford to know that. It's not something that's going to help us because we have plenty of space up on Industrial Park, number 1, along Braley Road. There's plenty of opportunities to build a factory and actually occupy some of the vacant buildings that are there. There's plenty of space up there. We can utilize that. Secondly is, I also want to add this, that the fire department. the blackouts for the fire department. We're closing fire stations left and right. That's not needed. It's very essential and very important that we leave these fire stations open. There's no need for the city to be closing the fire stations.
Okay, so we're going to have some questions here. So Craig asks, how do we tackle the opioid issue? The last 3 days, I'm looking at the blotter. We had 3 overdoses 3 days ago, 2 the day before that, and I think 1 after that. So overdoses are still happening. So how do we tackle the opioid crisis?
We should start with prevention programs, and also with prevention programs, what it does is educate people as they're growing up. You need to have those prevention programs, a lot with a combination of the addiction programs. Those prevention programs, if you set them in stone, and where you're kind of probably going into the schools, we need to start that young. We really do need to start that young, and have the prevention programs concrete, established within the schools, within the city, and different outreach programs, which we have a lot. But there has to be a combination of prevention and addiction programs.
So Kaya asks, should schools include courses on lifestyle survival? How to do a budget, credit score knowledge, planning for large purchases, things that we all have to learn on our own and people struggle with the most.
I think those programs are definitely something that should be implemented. However, what may hinder that is actually money and finances to get that going. And so what we have to do is actually create that money to run those particular programs, and make sure that they're consistent. We don't want to have it 1 year, and then in the next 2 years or 3 years later, that program's eliminated from the school system. We want to make sure that they're a mainstay in the system, in the school district, and that costs money. So we have to make sure we're having a problem just hiring staff right at the beginning of the year. So we have to make this appealing.
Justin asks, will you put back police walk in the beat and get to know the people in the city?
Of course, that's something, that's part of community policing. You get people to walk around the neighborhoods, talk to people. That's always been something easy for me. I mean, I've done it throughout different parts of the city. I'm always doing it. I don't mind it at all. I like a good conversation. And a good conversation with an old lady on the street or a young kid in the schoolyard. Those conversations that I welcome, and I'm always doing it, as the city does now.
So you're elected mayor, what's your first priority?
My first priority is just to review everything. That's the number one thing that you have to do. The city has good, bad, and ugly on it. You try to maintain the good stuff, straighten out the bad things, and eliminate the ugly things. Some of the ugly things I mentioned previously at the beginning of this interview. Those things need to stop, and I'm going to stop them.
So John asked about street sweeping. I've seen a lot more in the last 6 months on the Ave and other stuff. Would you keep it the same, increase it, decrease it?
Well, the street sweeping, it needs to happen. But the problem we have in this city is that the city workers are understaffed, where the numbers were 8 and now they're going down to 4. That's not an official figure, but that's what happens, is that the staff is cut in half. So where you may have four people doing citywide work, throughout from the south end to the north end, by the time they start from the south end and get to the north end, they have to get back to the south end and start all over again. Street sweeping is good, makes our city clean. And as residents, we have to do our part also. Sweeping out front of your curb is something you can do. Picking up some litter, it's all things we all can do. Take some pride in our city.
So Rob asks, how do we get the gangs out of the city?
The gangs, what you have to do is try to set up you got to add to the police, and actually by adding to the police, you also have to have a cooperation with the district attorney's office, and form some task force. I know they have the violent offenders unit out of the district attorney's office. What you have to do is have a zero tolerance for some of these heinous crimes that are going on. People are committing violent offenses over a 1 year time, 3-4 times. That person is victimizing people left and right. And what we have to do is recognize that this person is a habitual offender or a career criminal. And what we want to do is just say, hey, no more deals, no more plea bargains, all right? Time for this person to go to jail.
So Craig asks, what do you feel about homeless living in woods in the city of New Bedford?
Well, I've seen that throughout this past year quite a bit. And what they have is shelter in the wooded areas. What we have to look at is possibly clearing out those wooded areas and make them visible, because sometimes in the evening you can't see what's behind the bush. So what we have to do is make it more visible, and so people like myself and city workers, the New Bedford, the city task force, can look and see that, yeah, there is people there. They've been cleaning them up, cleaning up different areas around the railroad tracks, near Nauset Street. The city has been working hard to clean that up.
So this is a question, you brought it up about the keeping the prisoners in jail. What's your opinion about holding drug dealers accountable when someone overdoses and dies? Actually, let me go to that one after. So how do you get the courts to keep people locked up? So obviously, police do an amazing job in the city.
Yes.
They get in the folks. You bring them to court, and the judges are quick to slap them on the hand. Mayor Mitchell hasn't solved it. Lang hasn't solved it. No one solved the judge problem we have in this city. How do you solve it?
Well, I don't. It's a hard thing to do. Judges are definitely, they have their own opinion of how they're going to sentence people and how they're going to punish people. What you have to do is keep those things and those particular files on record and pay attention to it. And what you want, if you need assistance through the state to help you out with these particular issues where a judge may be lenient, well, you have to address it. And as a mayor of this city, I will address those things.
Okay, we've got a lot of questions flowing in, but we're going to give Charlie another live stream soon because we owe him one. We gave Mayor Mitchell a live stream, so we're going to see you soon, Charlie, to answer a lot of these questions. I suggest go online, like I told you before, answer some questions on there. We're running out of time.
Right.
So this was Charlie Perry, you're a mayoral candidate, October 3rd. And up next is Mitchell Garner, also running for mayor for New Bedford. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you very much, New Bedford Guide. I appreciate it. And have a good night, New Bedford.